trees in North Dakota than there used to be, growing all the time. It's one of the biggest concerns, again, with the damaging wind threat that we're eventually going to see. Again, this should all congeal into a cluster or a line later tonight, and that will eventually produce the threat of some significant damaging winds across a fairly large area. So, got new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. This will be back over in northwestern Iowa and southeastern South Dakota. Wind damage threat has likely peaked and should slowly diminish. So still a potential for damaging winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour, and then also the potential for half-dollar sized hail in this area. Hey, Isaac, for the $5 super chat. Back-to-back tornadoes around Bismarck had me a follower for life. Appreciate the update so I can watch peacefully from my porch. I'm glad I can help. Appreciate the super chat. And we were thinking about being live earlier. It was kind of just like, again, we didn't really know if this event was going to be a big tornado event or not. And it ended up being a big tornado event, but after sunset. Like, we were thinking about going live for that one tornado northwest of Bismarck, but we held off until we saw something that may be more concerning. Because, again, the environment did not look super good for tornadoes around 7 o'clock tonight. It looked like it may be like kind of a brief tornado sort of situation, kind of had a cap in place. vorticity wasn't that crazy, and then it really ramped up just after sunset, and that's when things got crazy. Literally, we've been live for an hour and 30 minutes, and that's when most of this action has happened. So. Hey, Tango, for the $10 super chat. Difference between a warning and emergency. Warning equals you. Emergency equals the guy he tells you not to worry about. Bro, what? Appreciate the super chat. This tornado warning still continuing back over here to the west, but again, it should just be canceled. It'll expire in 8 minutes. Keeping an eye on the storm near Buchanan. Possibility for maybe a tornado with this storm. I think it's contaminated, to be honest, but I wouldn't rule it out. It is discrete. It's moving a little bit more down to the southeast now, which is what happened with a lot of our other western supercells. So this may try to do something near Buchanan. Let's keep an eye on it. All right, they have just mentioned that the tornado warning will be allowed to expire in a few minutes. So that'll be happening in about 7 minutes or so. This is from JD on Twitter. This is a view from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Again, if you have any photos or videos, you can send them to us on Twitter or Facebook at MaxVelocityWX. Decent amount of lightning out there in the distance. A little bit of wind out in front of it. The calm before the storm, if you will. You send that in. All right, so again, that tornado warning will be allowed to expire in about 5 minutes. It has been removed from the Radar Mega app, but that is just because of the warning having the wording that it'll be expiring officially in 5 minutes. The storm has already moved outside of the tornado warning. Again, right now, the biggest concern for the southern supercells and the tornado watch are mainly damaging winds. Our tornado watch does go for another hour west of Fargo back through Bismarck. So if you're in any of this tornado watch, continue to stay weather aware. Again, we're still keeping a close eye on this storm back over to near Jamestown. There is still some rotation on this, I think, south of Buchanan. There's still a chance it could be contaminated, but I would be at least monitoring this storm very closely because this storm is moving more to the south and the rotation may be picking up on this. Latest velocity scan has it down here near Buchanan, just south of Buchanan. Moving down to the southeast, it's basically going towards Jamestown. So we may have a problem on our hands here in a few minutes for Jamestown. Thank you, Trash, for the super chat. Will you be going live for the Arizona monsoons? Asking for a friend. I don't know if we're going live for the monsoons, but we'll see. We don't usually go live for monsoon weather, though. If it's happening during like a severe weather event, we can always talk about it. But that's kind of one of those things that is hard to cover. Just a lot of rain usually. Yeah, I say though, today's event was very interesting. All right. Here's the latest scan as of 11:51. Still looks contaminated, but we're still keeping an eye on the storm near Jamestown. Give it another scan, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they issued a tornado warning for this storm. Right over Highway 52. If you're in Jamestown, I'd at least be staying away from windows. Continue to stay at least alert here, because this storm, again, is starting to take a right-hand turn down to the southeast, and it may actually try to produce a tornado here. It's just outside of Eldridge and outside of Fried. Hey, Midwest for the $10 super chat. I end up live streaming that oil change I was telling you about. It was breezy in Minneapolis today. Thanks for doing these lives. I always like watching the weather. I'm glad I can help and appreciate the super chat. Glad you got your oil change done. Thank you, Todd, for the super chat. Keep it going. Accurate, honest, reliable. And I'm a meteorologist. W. Approximately how long until it hits Fargo? I mean, the closest storms to you right now are approximately, let me do a little measurement tool here. They're still about 65 miles to your west. So realistically, it's probably another hour and a half to 2 hours away. If I had to guess, though, the most severe part of it would probably be around 2 in the morning or so, 2 to 3 in the morning. That could change, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just waiting for the velocities to update, but I'm kind of leaning towards this being something that gets tornado warned near Jamestown. Thank you, Data, for the super chat. Start my new job on Sunday for the Park Service. Congratulations. How long are you live for? I'm definitely live if this thing drops near Jamestown, because it might be trying. Kind of in between two radar sites. Part of me thinks this is just contamination, but just in case, we're keeping an eye on it. I think the biggest concern again for Jamestown will be damaging winds and hail. This storm is going more to the southeast, so that's the one reason why I'm keeping an eye on it. There's also a lot of rain out in front of it, so it's going to probably not have much time to even produce if it were to. Thunderstorms in Kansas? We do have thunderstorms in Kansas. We actually have one severe warning near Goodland. Look at that outflow boundary. The outflow boundary is super definitive on radar here near Goodland. Sharon Springs and Colby. Mostly just going to be gusty winds. I'm not expecting a lot of severe weather out of that. Otherwise, not really looking at severe weather in Kansas tonight. Yeah, generally speaking, all the storms in southern North Dakota near Napoleon, south of I-94, again, there really isn't a whole lot here anymore for tornadoes. It should be mostly hail up to the size of 2 inches in diameter and damaging winds upwards of 70 miles per hour. And then further out to the east near Buchanan and Fried, this is a storm, again, that is still mostly a hail and wind threat. I haven't really seen anything that really definitively gives me an idea that we'll get a tornado warning or even if this will get tornado warned, but another radar scan in a second for the velocities. I think it's just side lobe contamination, though. Thank you, Amber, for the $10 super chat. From Mildura, Victoria, Australia, excuse me. But find these fascinating. Thanks for all that you do to try to keep everybody safe from these dangerous tornadoes. Hope things settle down. What's the time there, please? Time is top of your screen. It literally is about to hit midnight in about 30 seconds. It'll be hitting midnight in Central Time. Here's the latest scan. I'm leaning towards this just being some side lobe contamination. No CC drop or anything like that either. But if you're in Jamestown, just continue to stay away from windows, lowest floor possible, as the storm continues to track down to the southeast. Also, if you have any photos or videos, you can send them to us on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. Keep an eye on our socials for those. Twin Cities timing, probably like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. It'll be very early tomorrow morning. You're good, Amber. The clock's at the top of your screen. Just hit midnight. How does a radar hole happen? Well, radar sites are built by the National Weather Service, and there's also private ones, but these are the ones that we are able to use. And so you can see like these different circles here. These are the radar sites. They put them out in different places, but they're stationary, obviously. They don't move. These ones are literally there. And so all the radar sites that we have are all kind of spaced apart to the point where we don't have that many radar holes. But whenever we're in like between all these radar sites, we basically have something that we call a radar hole, which is an area where we can't really see velocities very well. Reflectivity gets a little bit more pixelated. It's just hard to tell exactly what's going on all the time. One of the worst ones is in northern Iowa and southern Minnesota. But more than anything, we just need more funding or at least more allocation towards building more radar sites to actually have more. Like the main one is that one. We have another radar hole back over here in Durant, like southeastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas. There are a few others as well, but those are two of the more major ones that we have. We also have one in northern Minnesota, but generally speaking, northern Minnesota doesn't see that much significant severe weather year round. It's usually only a couple of events up there every year. So yeah, it's kind of what the whole, side lobe, or not side lobe, what am I talking about? Radar site whole thing is. But we no longer have any tornado warnings. The one that, again, back over there west of Napoleon has expired. And so, again, the only storm that has my attention right now is the one near Jamestown, but it looks pretty much just like side lobe contamination. Really not a whole lot to that otherwise. I think, again, damaging wind should be the main concern here for the next few hours, maybe an isolated brief tornado, but I think the peak of the tornado threat has already passed here for North Dakota. Got crazy, though, there for a little bit. That is for sure. Max velocity radar network. You know how expensive it would be for me to build my own radar sites everywhere? It'd be a lot of money. Costs a lot of money to build any radar site. Costs like millions. What's the radar being yellow mean? These ones are like the terminal radar sites. These are the ones at like airports, for example. So, yeah. Start with Florida. Florida doesn't have that bad of a radar network, though. Their network's pretty good. There are a couple small radar holes, but it's not terrible. Let's go over to the power outage map. We'll check that out here. These are the power outages that we've had so far in North Dakota. And despite us having about 6 or 7 different tornadoes and also the high winds, we only have 800 customers without power. Main county is Logan County, which is currently at about 460 without power out of 1,300. So pretty much about 25% of the county. Kidder County also has about 192 out of about 2,400. Keep in mind, most of North Dakota is pretty rural. I'm actually kind of surprised that where Bismarck is, we have not had more power outages because of the fact that we had a tornado literally hit one of those. It looked like it hit one of those communities back over near Arnold. So kind of surprised we don't have more power outages up there, but hopefully nothing was really too significantly damaged. That was a pretty large tornado. Thank you, Cade, for the super chat. Also, thank you, Marcus, for the super chat, and Midwest for the super chat. Why does Kentucky have so many cameras on Radar Omega? Like their like home area is the Ohio Valley. There are tons of cameras obviously on here, but I think that they originate in the southeast, so it's easier to like build a network out down here. But they have been expanding. I mean, they got another one actually south of St. Louis now. One in Nebraska that's been there for a little bit. I think they're adding more to northern Kentucky too here soon, from what I've seen. So there's also another one in Northwest Ohio, but I would fully expect that there will probably be more cameras here soon in the Midwest. Did you post the viewer heat map thing? Yes, I did show it earlier. I don't know when I showed it, but it was probably about 45 minutes ago. If you just hover over like the scrolling thing on the bottom, you could probably find it. Actually, I could probably just show it. Might as well. I'll just do the Midwest heat map for now. That's basically the heat map. So Minneapolis, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks, Des Moines are the main locations in the Midwest. And then if we're talking about locations outside of the Midwest and just going by the entire country, that's what it looks like. Actually, a decent amount of people watching from Dallas, Minneapolis tonight, and Chicago. Those are like some of the very highly populated areas. Got a lot of people in Columbus as well. So, but obviously the Midwest and the northern plains are the main areas being targeted by severe weather tonight. Storms entering Michigan. Are storms entering Michigan? I don't see any storms in Michigan. Our severe weather threat in Michigan is pretty much done for today. We had some storms earlier today, just with mainly damaging winds. Yeah, at this point, Jamestown, your main concern is damaging winds and hail. It's very contaminated here on radar. Just a lot of side lobe contamination that is popping up. Not expecting really a tornado threat to evolve there. And then southeast of Bismarck, mainly just hail and wind. And there really isn't a whole lot of a tornado threat left here. Tornado watch does go, though, for another hour. So, hey, you taught for the super chat. If an EF6 category existed, what tornadoes do you think would fit in? Well, that'll never happen. So I don't know where we're going with that. I mean, to be honest, like we haven't had an EF5 tornado in like 14 years. So I don't even know, like, we'd have to go back really far for any tornado to be in an EF6 category if we ever even had one. But even then, I don't think there's a need for anything above 5. Like 5 categories is plenty. Gives us every single scale that we need for tornadoes and hurricanes. People saying that we need a category 6 hurricane is just crazy, or category 6 leveled hurricane like category is just crazy. Any spotters near Jamestown? Not that I'm aware of, no. But I mean, right now it's mostly wind and hail. Yeah, everybody for the most part, all the chasers that we have are on the were on the discrete cells southeast of Bismarck, which was the right area today. That was where we had the most favorable environment. And you have 5 tornado, the highest you can go. That is the highest. Yeah, category. If we had a category 6 hurricane like level, that would be legitimately like probably one of the um, least productive things. Because if we had a category 6 hurricane, like people would not take category 5s as seriously, even though those are already catastrophic. So like, there's literally no reason. And 150 versus 90 for wind speeds is actually it's a big difference, but it's not as dramatic of a difference as some people make it out to be. Which we haven't really had that many hurricanes making a landfall at least anywhere near 190. It's hard for that to happen, but Ian, for example, was 155, 160. Milton was up there too, but it ended up weakening as it got closer to landfall. So it would just make it more complicated. I think it's the same thing with tornado rating too. Like if we had an EF6 tornado, people would take EF5s less seriously, EF4s less seriously, etc. So just has to go scaling. Same thing with severe weather risks. Like people think we should have an extreme risk of severe weather. Like there's just no reason. Like that, when we get to like a level above high, like it gets complicated. You know, like that can be reserved for like major outbreaks, like April 27th, 2011, for example. But we have ever had more than 5 risks, it would get just really complicated. Bismarck in the clear? Yeah, you guys are good. Bismarck. You guys are good to go to bed. New to the channel, we watch weather from all over, focused on recent storms in the Midwest. It's been a lot of Midwest, Northern, and Central Plains recently. We haven't really had a whole lot of events further down to the south. It's been mainly up here, and this is very typical for this time of the year. Again, keep in mind our jet stream usually lifts far off to the north this time of the year. Our troughing is located over the Rockies right now. And so essentially what we're seeing is just, again, troughing Rockies. Our shortwave troughs are going to the northeast, moving into the northern plains, and that's why severe weather continues to set up further north. There is a chance on Monday that we could see some isolated severe weather back down to the south. Don't think there's going to be anything really that organized, but we'll have to wait and see. But just something to keep an eye on. And Ohio Valley should have some severe weather on Monday. They're saying storms in Michigan on Monday now. There should be some storms in Michigan on Monday. Thank you, Cody, for the super chat. You went over many here in Minnesota. TV news standard for storm coverage is usually lackluster at best. Well, I'm glad I can help. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Andrew, also for the $10 super chat. And again, we reach so many people now. Like even in today's stream, we were up to like 25,000 watching. And in North Dakota, that's a lot. Like, North Dakota events, South Dakota events, like it's not a super populated area. But even on the derecho day that we had, there were a ton of people tuning in from North Dakota. Like we've never had that many people ever watch from the Dakotas before. So it goes to show like our weather coverage here is, vital to some of these people in the Dakotas, Minnesota, for example, too. Minnesota definitely, like we have a large audience growing in Minnesota and the Dakotas for sure too. So definitely glad we can help. But we were the only, coverage channel on YouTube live today for this event. So only one covering the outbreak. Obviously, we could have been live earlier, but we were just kind of hesitant on the environment. Did not think it would be tornadic until possibly after sunset, which is why we held off. And even though this has only been about a 2-hour stream, like we covered everything that basically happened in this event. Almost everything. Thank you, Marcus, for the super chat. I don't know if you know, but I wonder if the Storm Prediction Center Tornado Outlook has ever had a 60% probability. I think we did. I think we've had one. Thank you, Samuel, for the $10 super chat. Good to see you back covering North Dakota. We are back covering North Dakota. We'll probably be back here again for North Dakota at some point in the next week or two. I don't think the active weather pattern here is going to really slow down in the Dakotas anytime soon. Hey, Noni, for becoming a member. Just sent you a clip from South Bismarck. I will check it out. If you guys have any photos or videos, again, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. I will check to see if we have anything else sent in. A lot of lightning being reported back over in Grand Forks right now by one of the people that are watching our stream. Thank you, Michelle, for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate the generosity. Also, thank you, Doesn't, for the $5 super chat. It's going to, I don't think it's going to impact like hurricane coverage as much. The only problem, though, is that it's going to impact our ability to know how intense hurricanes are, how much they're intensifying with our, with that particular satellite going away. And then on top of that, it impacts research. So it's like a double-edged sword, basically. It's not like the end of the world when it comes to forecasting weather, but it does obviously affect, a lot of different things. So yeah, unfortunately, that it's not a good thing to lose our satellites, or at least that particular satellite. But yeah, fortunately, that's just another one of those things that kind of wish we had, though, for this time of the year. Where can we send you stuff? That's not Twitter. You can send it to us on Facebook, too. All the socials are linked down below. Sioux Falls, you guys are just talking about some gusty winds and a little bit of lightning. It looks like the storms. You're in Sioux Falls. You guys got split. The storm split right between you. This is diabolical. Gotten basically no rain in Sioux Falls. You had him for the super chat. Are you covering the winter weather this year? We will be. It might not be this year, though. A lot of the time, winter weather, like this past year, we didn't have any winter streams until January because there weren't any big winter storms in December. So it could actually happen later. Just depends on how fall and winter go. You never know. Kind of varies every year. But yeah, overall, the severe weather threat here in northwest Iowa, southeastern, South Dakota, it's much lower. Just gusty winds for the most part. And overall, again, our severe weather threat here in North Dakota is actually kind of going down. It's going to increase again once we get a line of storms. We should see a more prominent damaging wind threat for Fargo, Fergus Falls, and just south of Grand Forks. But again, it's going to take a little bit of time for these storms to really upscale into something a little bit bigger. Got a lot of chasers right now en route for the Jamestown area, which right now Jamestown is experiencing up to ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind still. You think this year will be a record-breaking year for tornadoes? I do not. I don't know what the exact number that we're at right now is. I think it's only slightly above average, though, from the last time I looked. Thank you, Lori, for the super chat. Thank you for covering these storms. I live in Carrington, North Dakota, and your channel is a blessing. I'm glad I can help you over there in Carrington. Thank you for the super chat. Can Jamestown go to bed? I'll give it like another 5-10 minutes, but yeah, you guys should be good here in a few minutes. How does Davenport, North Dakota look? I feel like I've talked about Davenport before. I know where it is. Davenport, North Dakota. You guys are probably going to see mainly wind. Somebody else just asked about Fargo, too, which is in the same area. If you're back over near Fargo, the biggest concern will be damaging winds. Again, these storms are going to cluster together here over the next hour, and once it organizes more, we should see a more elevated threat for damaging winds. I would expect that they're going to issue a new severe thunderstorm watch here soon for southeastern North Dakota and also parts of western Minnesota for a line of thunderstorms that's going to be forming within the next hour. Thank you, Vanny, for the $10 super chat. We never had a touchdown in the last 20 years or so in the FM area. What's FM? FM area, but we did witness a blizzard with lightning while in high school. Fargo is for floods. That hasn't happened for a while either. FM Fargo. Fargo, Moorhead. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not from North Dakota, by the way. I just want to preface that. I don't know what that means. I'm not from North Dakota. I've never actually been to the state of North Dakota. Interesting. Just came across your channel. Well, appreciate you tuning in. We got about like 6 minutes left in the stream. We're just gonna get it to 2 hours, and then we'll probably wind it down again. The severe weather threat, literally, I think the tornado threat in the stream lasted about an hour, and that was about it. Like we literally had 6 or 7 tornadoes in an hour. It got crazy really fast. I gotta say, really got crazy. Hey, Todd, for the super chat, PDS Wasp watch for tomorrow? I don't think so. Did I say 6-7 again? Oh my goodness, not again. Same time tomorrow. We might. I don't know if it's gonna be the same time tomorrow. We're probably gonna be going live earlier tomorrow, if I had to guess. This is again tomorrow, and again, I think we're gonna be live again tomorrow. I really wanted to go live like today. I just was not confident enough to go live earlier with our threat of severe weather. But we do have a slight risk of severe weather in place for tomorrow, technically today now, but it's Saturday for Western Wisconsin, South Dakota, Minnesota, also Nebraska included in that. May get an enhanced risk there in Minnesota. I feel like we're going to get an enhanced risk for wind and hail. The tornado threat should stay as a 5%. But yeah, here's your tornado threat again. 5% does include the Twin Cities. Also, Owatonna's in the 2%. And then here's your wind and hail threat. So right now it's not hatched. I have no clue how this is not a hatch risk for at least hail, because I do think there's a chance for some very large hail out of those storms tomorrow. Really don't understand that, to be honest. And I don't know what happened, but our 2%, like this morning, we had a tornado risk for tomorrow. That was like a 2% all the way up here, and now that's gone. So I don't know if that was an error or something, but this makes way more sense. So David Vonnie for the super chat. They just took us out of middle school to make sandbags to the floods. Fargo, Moorhead, boring weather-wise, always a tease. Yeah, I mean, tonight's probably gonna be the same way. It's mostly just gonna be isolated damaging winds. Low tornado risk, though. Here's our tornado threat for tonight, by the way, just to kind of give you an idea of where this tornado risk is at this point. I mean, most of the storms are already out of our tornado risk. We still got a few in it, but all the storms that are still in the tornado risk have mostly gotten elevated and do not look like they're going to be rotating anytime soon. Wouldn't rule out a really weak tornado out of the storm near Strasbourg going towards like Zealand in maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but I really think it's a very low chance of that happening. But tornado-wise, these storms are pretty much done. Hey, Jamez also for the super chat. Also, thank you, Coots, for the super chat. You guys are safe to sleep over in Fergus Falls and Elbow Lake. Just have ways to receive warnings. If you guys are west of this line, you guys are I'll kind of draw it a little bit more differently. But if you're basically west of this line, you guys are good. And also kind of north of this line, you're good. Looks like the storms will ramp up in Minnesota later tonight. They will. It'll be a line of storms. Again, damaging winds being the main concern. Is Riley going live? He is not. Not really much of a reason to go live with only 3 warnings and the threat kind of dying down. He also has to get up early tomorrow. So, am I good to go to bed in Fargo? You guys can go to bed. Just have ways to receive warnings. Basically goes for anybody in the watch. If you're in a warning, just stay away from windows. Only got 3 warnings left, and we got about 2 minutes left in the stream. And then we're going to wrap it up. One of the shortest streams that we've had, other than me losing internet. Just almost one of the. This is basically the shortest stream that we've had in a long time. When was the last time we had a 2-hour stream or less, other than the internet going out? All right, the last time was the tornado that happened outside of St. Louis back on June 4th. So actually, about 4 weeks ago was the last time we had a stream this short, or around this short. But as always, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Again, don't forget to click the bell icon down below so you're notified when we do go live next, which may be tomorrow. We should have another video tomorrow morning talking about the upcoming severe weather Saturday through Monday. So make sure that you are subscribed. Click the bell icon so you're notified with our latest forecast, which should be out tomorrow morning around 6 a.m. Central Time or so. And as a reminder, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. You can also join our Discord server, which is linked down below. So if you want to join our Discord, that is linked down below. Definitely recommend you check that out. And again, pretty likely we'll be live again tomorrow. But if we're not live tomorrow, Sunday is also a possible stream day. Monday is a low chance day as of right now, but we'll see if that changes. Thank you, Vincent, for the super chat. Yeah, Grand Forks, you guys are probably chilling. I think you guys are chilling there. Most of it's going to stay down to your south by the looks of it. As always, do appreciate all the members of the channel. Thank you all for the mods as well for helping keep the chat safe. Don't forget, if you want to support the page above and beyond, you can become a member with the join button down below. It is also the top link in the description below. Starts from $2.99 a month. It's one of the best ways to support what we do here on this channel with all the chasers that we have and all that good stuff. Could not do it with all the members on this channel, so I really do appreciate your support. And yeah, make sure to check that out. Again, that's the join button down below. Also, the top link in the description below. Also, thank you to Bentley for the super chat. Appreciate that. Alrighty, guys. Well, appreciate you guys all watching. Have a great, safe rest of your night. We are going to wrap it up, though. Again, if you have any, if you're
this is a strong tornado with a horizontal vortex. This thing is at least an EF3. This is not weak. Oh gosh! Sorry, lightning just struck right next to me. Take shelter immediately.